He's so nice, right? That's why I laugh whenever we're hanging out with your clients and you're being so nice. I'm like, dang. First thing that I want to
I don't talk about myself that often. What are you talking about? But you don't have to get combative. The conversation is not about you. I thought the setup would be, we're going to talk about Oleg's favorite subject. Oleg?
In fact, I think that this actually eliminates ESFJ, so I don't think you're ESFJ.
Oh, wow.
So if you guys know anything about the communication styles or the temperament styles, go ahead and comment down below what you think he is. Keep them in mind as I interview him, because I'm sure you're going to be dropping all kinds of hints. He doesn't know anything about them, so I'll discuss them with you after also, so you know like what it was we were looking for or I was looking for. This choice of words are really important because it's going to show where his ego lies, how he chooses to talk about himself, or how he chooses to approach a question.
All right. Interview away.
We're going to talk about Oleg's favorite subject. If you guys don't know, Oleg was a soccer player for many years before he came to the States. How maybe you got into soccer in the first place? Because I know that you did not come from a sporting family. Why do you think that soccer is something that you became so passionate about?
Well, if you guys don't know, I was born in the Soviet Union. Then the Soviet Union broke apart when I was about 4 years old, and right now. And then we were living in the Russian part of Soviet Union with my family. My mom was from Ukraine, and when I was about 9, probably 7, 8 years old, something like that, my parents decided to go to Ukraine. Before I moved back to Ukraine, I played soccer, I think, once. We kicked the ball over somebody's fence. There was a dog. Somebody had to like jump the fence to bring the ball back. That was the only time I played soccer until the age of 10. That was the only time I played soccer in Russia. And I thought it was the stupidest thing ever. At that point in time, I was very artsy and craftsy. I was super nerdy. Like I had straight A's in all of the subjects in school, except of PE. So I hated soccer. I didn't think much about soccer. Then when we moved to Ukraine, everybody was doing it, so I felt like I was just following the example of people that were cool. And I started playing soccer, and that's how I got in. And very shortly after I started doing it,
I'm going to be making notes as you're doing this because you're already saying things.
Okay, I'll allow.
Don't look at it.
So when I was about 10 years old, and I think that happened right around my birthday, the older friends of mine from the place where I was living, they were going to their soccer class, and I went with them. I liked it, but I also liked the challenge part of it. From the very, very early age, when I got a little bit more serious about soccer, I was always told I'm never going to be anybody. Like I'm never going to get anywhere. I'm never going to be good. I think that was my coach's way of motivating me and everybody else. In all fairness, I think that was applicable to everybody else. Like everybody was told that nothing's going to come out of them, which is not a right way to coach kids or teach kids, but that was just how it was.
How do you feel like it has affected your work ethic? How you handle rejection? How hardworking you are? All these things?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily just soccer or maybe some economic part to it, because my family has always been poor. It's just for many, many years I didn't know that we were poor because everybody else around us was on the same level. There were just a few people that would be feeling a little bit better financially, but for the most part, nobody would ever go on a vacation somewhere else other than to the sea that would be a couple of hours away from where I was growing up in southern Ukraine. So yeah, the majority of people were in the same boat as me and my parents were. My mom told me that I should do it, and when I was about 11 years old, she told me that we didn't have any money to pay for it. I said, well, I'm gonna pay for it from my lunch money. And then I started betting on sports when I was like 12 or 13 years old, making money that way. So I could pay for my soccer a little bit. Everybody who was around me were just doing what we had a chance to do. With soccer, it felt like I should be able to choose my own destiny in a way.
Your decision to move to America.
It was several things to it. I got screwed by my coach. I got injured. I probably wasn't that good to begin with. You know, all of those things kind of came together, putting me in a position where I was somebody in the world of journalism, where I was working from the age of 17, but I didn't care about that, so that didn't matter. The soccer was the only thing that mattered, and when that did work out, you know, obviously I didn't feel that well.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I already had a good position in journalism, so I had to work about a couple of hours a day. I had to oversee how some other people work. So at that point in time, I was able to come back to my small town from capital city, spend about a year there, but it was just playing soccer on the amateur level, kicking the ball, working a couple of hours a day, drinking for the rest of the time, and just wandering around aimlessly. So it wasn't going anywhere. I knew I needed to get out. I just didn't care where to go.
You just needed to keep moving forward with life. You just felt like
I just needed to go somewhere. I think when you are in a good mental state, you can be moving towards some kind of goals. When you are in a bad mental state, you just need to get out of the place where you're at. So that was the US was that for me. I didn't care. I thought I would be going to Germany. It's like I didn't speak German, I didn't speak English. Germany was like 3 hours away.
Yeah.
And America was, you know, a 15-hour flight.
So we're going to discuss a little bit about the communication styles and temperament styles now. So we have the communication styles. You don't know any of this. Maybe you know. We have direct versus informative. So you can probably guess kind of what this is. If somebody speaks in more direct terms or if they're more informative. So a good example of this would be we're out of milk in the fridge. A direct person would say to their partner or friend or roommate, hey, we're out of milk. Go buy some milk.
Excuse me, manager coming through. That's your fault. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm the manager. Excuse me, coming through. Or
we need to go buy some milk. They would come straight to the point. An informative person would be like, oh, we're out of milk. Do you use milk often? They'll let the other person decide what their role in the conversation is going to be, essentially.
Well, obviously, I'm very subtle, I'm very nice, so I'm very indirect. So you drank it all?
So direct is usually as specific as possible, and they usually state what needs to be said, and only with the words that are needed, and even at the risk of sounding rude, because they usually don't care so much about that as to getting their point across. Now, with this one, actually, for you.
If it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
I'll drive.
That's his literally catchphrase for life. You can be very, very direct. However, this one can be a little bit confusing when it comes to him because you do tend to be quite informative often in your work. But,
yeah, I'd be like, hey, milk is very important for you. It consists of vitamin A, B, C, D. So get your ass up and go get me some milk because you drank it all.
It's just that I think that when you are in a professional environment, you really check your direct nature because obviously he's trying not to come across rude, but we're going for what you do most of the time, right? I would say that Oleg is incredibly direct. However, you have the ability to be incredibly informative as well. When you're not thinking about you need to get something and what's the best way to be, you're just being yourself, I would say you're direct.
Being direct in our day-to-day life is the way for me to save time.
Yes.
To make sure I can get to the point right away.
Initiating versus responding. Initiators like to be informed or in the loop, and then responding people tend to kind of rely on initiators to inform them. So
no, I don't think I would like to be informed. I need to be informed.
In like a group setting, for example, the group setting, like people that are doing a group project, how initiators will, versus responders, initiators might take charge of the group project naturally. Not that responders can't take charge of a group project if they feel like no one is taking charge. A responder might put themselves in that position of being like group leader or something. You're an initiator.
That's my position in life. I don't know how much time I have left. Starting from the positions I started, I need to act. I need to get things done in order to get to where I want to be in life.
Right.
So I don't have a time to wait. I don't have a position. I don't have a privilege to just wait and hope that things will work out. So I need to initiate.
We have a control versus movement next. Now, I tested his control versus movement. I don't know if you guys caught this when I asked the question. Did you feel like you needed to come to America because you just needed to keep moving forward and you felt stuck? Now, if he had been movement, I would have expected him to say, yes, I need to feel forward movement. If I do not feel my life moving forward, I get depressed. I do not like it. I don't care what direction it's moving, but if it's not forward moving, then I'm gonna freak out. Control people, it's not so much that it's just moving forward, it's that it's moving forward in a specific direction. So if things are moving forward, even if maybe that movement forward is good, if it's not in the direction that they want it to be, it's not good for them.
Yo, Dave, your house is on fire.
Let it burn.
Your house is on fire.
Let it burn!
I think with this fluidity comes acceptance of destiny, of the fact that things will be the way they will be, where I'm not necessarily okay with that.
I think you're control. So you are direct initiating control. I think that I need to look at the quadras, but I think that this does eliminate a lot of the personality types right off the bat. And so we have the temperament analysis. Do you know what these words mean? Affiliative versus pragmatic.
So that I can affiliate with something and pragmatic.
Oleg can be incredibly affiliative. He's all about the groups. He really loves people, team sports. I feel like that's a very affiliative thing. Affiliative operate on more of a cooperation level, always checking on the norm, agreement, concerned with social norms or people. And this can be very much you. Oleg is very concerned about social norms. He's always, there's always like a way that he knows people are gonna see him if he does certain things.
It's called the protocol.
Protocol. Oleg really likes protocols. Although you do have a lot of affiliative qualities, when he was talking, when you heard him talk about doing what he needed to do, you know, I needed to do this, I needed to do that. He doesn't really talk in terms of, I needed to do this for somebody else or my family, even though I know in your personal life, you have talked a lot about that, about how I want to be successful because I want to be able to help my family.
What I need to do has nothing to do with the reasons why I need to do it.
You said, I need to choose my own destiny. This is a pragmatic statement. Me. I don't care. I don't need to take care of my family. I'm not concerned about what other people think. Here in America, we tend to be a lot more pragmatic because we can afford to be, because it's the, you know, I'm number one. I'm all that matters.
I can park right in the middle of two parking spots because, you know, this is the US. You came over here, so you find yourself a parking spot.
Yeah, that really bothers him when people don't behave the right way.
It's not because
it's rude.
It's not because I'm a communist. It's just you take care of the person next to you because it costs you nothing.
Right.
Just freaking do it, you little.
Yes. Systematic versus interest. This is not even a question to me. Not even a question. Systematic.
Very interest-oriented person.
Systematic, 100%. So, systematic people have a literal system for everything. They ask what is the order, how is it sequenced, where is the missing piece. Systematic people are very methodical. Systematic people always make sure I'm dressed up properly for a job interview, for example, while as interest people, maybe for that job interview you wouldn't want to dress up in a suit and tie. Maybe you want to dress up in a Hawaiian shirt.
Maybe you want to dress up like a little kid.
Now,
you're 65 years old.
Systematic people also, I feel like they have rituals. There's a way to do everything. And this is to me the clearest one about you. You are 100% systems oriented. There's a way for Oleg to do everything. You know, the socks have to match the suit. If they don't, he has a mental breakdown. Concrete versus abstract. So concrete people are what's tangible, what is the person able to observe. 70% of the population is actually concrete, in case you didn't know. Concrete, always thinking about what is rather than what could be. So would you say you're more concrete or abstract?
I think concrete.
Yeah, I think that this is actually a pretty clear one too. Because you have to remember, everybody is everything. No one can be 100% one thing. Concrete, affiliative, systematic with direct initiating control, which would make you an ESTJ, which is the overseer guardian type.
Is that what I was?
No, you were ESFJ, which would have been, it's in the guardians, but it is in the starter type. You are a structure type, not a starter type. So structure, ESTJ, is averted, and that's very interesting. The main conclusion is that we were a little bit wrong. They take charge, they like to do crazy things. I mean, moving to America with no plan is a pretty crazy thing, I think. And Oleg does a lot of things that are kind of like ballsy. I'm like, whoa.
I just put a can of beans in the microwave, but little do I know, I forgot to take the beans out of the can. And now my mother freaking house burnt down, and now I don't have anywhere to live,
He does a lot of things like that. Doesn't mean you don't plan them out, they just take balls, you know what I'm saying? Also, we were watching C.S. Joseph's interpretation of what an EST or ESTJ is like. He was saying a lot of them are very physically fit, and a lot of them are athletes. A lot of them are very athletic, which would make sense, because that's like your thing, very athletic. Rational, minded, they really like to make sure the group is compliant, but also happy, because they like to give people good experiences, is what he was saying. Good experiences, good vibes. Pretty much everything that we found out about the ESTJ, I think, is pretty much in line with how you are.
I think it could be helpful.
It's helpful in a very kind of superficial base way. It can make a big difference, probably.
I think it could be helpful in a very, very applicable way, where you know that you're a little bit better at listening, you're a little bit better at taking directions from somebody else, you're a little bit better at one thing or another, so you can adjust your life this way.
It's only a tool to make your life a little bit more pleasant, but it does not put you in a box in any way. Please comment down below what you think, if you watched the interview, if you saw something that maybe I didn't, if you think that ESTJ is wrong, comment down below. So that's it. Maybe we'll do another video sometime doing typing myself, which will be interesting, because I don't think I'm INTJ.
Test yourself, guys. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, but hey, if you don't like the results of the test, who cares? Because you could be whatever 4 letters of the English or any other alphabet.
You can be whatever you want to be. We hope to see you guys next time, hopefully for a more active, action-packed video.
There's not place to go to.
Right.
But we promise we're going to get out of the house and we're going to film some pretty areas of this Los Angeles and maybe do something fun as well.
Yeah.
Some more fun interviews are coming, by the way. See you guys later.
All right. Bye.